This house sold for $35,000 more than what the bank thought it was worth, and we still got it closed. Here's how. Hi, I'm Alex Pacheco, your real estate professor, and one of the reasons I love being a realtor is stories like this. Because the question I get all the time is, are realtors still worth it? Do I still need to hire an agent? And the answer depends. The truth is, realtors do a lot more than just open and close the door, take you on tours, and put lockboxes on houses. The best realtors, they're awesome problem solvers. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a specific sale that recently happened where the lender said that the house was only worth $225 and we were under contract for $255. So there was a big gap there and we had to figure out how to fix that gap and get everyone to the closing table. So in a hot seller's market, buyers are willing to pay a little bit more for houses, but sometimes the lenders and the appraisers, they're a little behind and they don't see the value in the property. So that's a problem we're running into a lot in today's market. Now in a situation like this is typically what happens. A, the seller has to reduce that price. And honestly, sometimes they're not willing to reduce by that much. B, the buyer has to make up the difference with extra cash. Even though they're getting a loan, they have to come up with extra cash to make up that gap. Or C, honestly, in a market like this, sometimes the deal just falls apart. But the good news is, if I'm involved, I'm gonna go to bat for you and figure out a solution the best I can. And today, guess what? Sarah, she's in the house that she loves. She didn't have to make up that gap. And I have a happy buyer, which I was representing, and you know what? I even have a happy seller. Okay, so when I first met Sarah, she wanted to sell and put her house up for sale that she had recently remodeled. Now, we weren't worried about getting Sarah's house sold. We knew that the buyers were gonna come stampeding in because it was a beautiful house and a good remodel. But what we were worried about is if it would appraise. So as expected, as soon as we put that house on the market, it took about 5 days and it was under contract for $255,000. And what happens next is the buyer's lender is gonna send out an appraiser, which is the eyes and ears for the lender, to put a value on that house. Because we knew up front that there might be an appraisal issue, I was quick to get with my seller and start gathering data and documentation in case we had to go to battle with an appraiser. Now in this particular case, Sarah had recently remodeled the house. So I knew that we probably wanted to start gathering documentation. So the first thing that we did is we went to the person that did the remodeling repairs for Sarah and we started gathering invoices. So unfortunately our worst fear came true and the appraisal did come in low. Came in at about $225,000. However, the buyer and the seller both wanted to purchase that property for $255,000. So what we had to do next is I had to get a hold of that appraiser and reach out to him and see what kind of data he was using and to see and compare against the data that I was using to value Sarah's house. So sometimes in our market, we get appraisers that might even be from out of Pueblo West. They might be from Colorado Springs, for example, and they're humans, right? So in this particular case, some of his data that he was using just was not matching up with what we knew about the market. And I felt like we knew the Pueblo West market and Pueblo market better than he did. What we did is I took the data that I used to put a valuation on Sarah's house, and I also took those invoices and some of their own receipts that she used to do some of her own repairs, and I put that together basically like in a file, and I got that over to the appraiser to give him some data to reconsider his valuation. Now, when disputing an appraisal, it's not a slam dunk. You know, a lot of times appraisers, they're gonna stick with their value. So you've really gotta have some really strong evidence to get them to overturn a value that they are already putting down on paper. And luckily in this case, our data, our evidence was really strong and we were able to get that appraiser to overturn that appraisal and change his valuation. Okay, it only took me, a matter of hours to gather some of that data and evidence to kind of combat with what the appraiser was saying on valuation. But honestly, that comes with experience. It just takes time and experience as an agent to be able to know what battles to fight. And we were really happy that we were able to get that valuation overturned. And Sarah's a really happy camper. She's got an extra $30,000 in her pocket, and even the buyers, they're happy. They knew the house was worth it, and they're in the house that they wanted to be in. So next time someone tells you that maybe your house isn't worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it, I would say get some data, get some evidence, see if you can't fight back. Now, if you find yourself in this situation, or you know someone that's getting ready to sell and really wants to maximize what they're getting, but they might be concerned about some of these same issues that we just talked about, reach out to me. I would love to help. I help buyers and sellers throughout the Pueblo area, and it would be my honor to help you too. I'm Alex Pacheco, your real estate professor. Thanks for watching.